Hey guys, this is Daniel,
And Matthew, and
and
we
we
are
are that
that
damn
damn
Brent.
Brent.
We should have had
And
our friend join us in that.
yeah, well,
I did not want to be a part of that train wreck. No, thank you. I'm
Yeah.
good.
Anyway, so joining us for this very special episode of our podcast in my new apartment is none other than Kernwallis,
Hello,
and
hello.
yeah, he's prepared to engage with us in some conversation with all sorts of gaming relatedness. So let's let Daniel lead the conversation.
Well, today was Sony's. I don't even know what the fuck they call it. Their Nintendo Direct, and
There you go.
and the first thing that they started off with was Final Fantasy 16, which by far to me was, other than the price and the date of the console, was the greatest thing in that presentation. I thought it looked. It reminded me of DMC with a little bit of Final Fantasy in it, but like all the Final Fantasy lore. I thought it looked great. I'm really excited about that. It said console exclusive, so that means I'm probably gonna be able to play it on PC. My little super ultra wide, if I have that at the time. So I'm really excited about that. Kern, I know you watched it. What do you think of it?
Um, as in the event overall or Final
Well, of the
Fantasy
game,
itself?
yeah.
Okay, so Final Fantasy, I've never really taken a liking to Final Fantasy. So I'm glad you're happy about it. And I thought the game looked absolutely phenomenal. Graphics wise, gameplay wise, like it looked amazing.
It looked like it was on the
But like
computer.
huh? Oh yeah, that's right. That was the one they were like emulated on a PC,
Yeah.
on a PS5 emulator or something. That's right. I remember that one. Oh yeah. So yeah, I don't. It doesn't really. It's not my fantasy to play that game. So
So it's
Well,
not your Final Fantasy?
no, it's not. It's definitely not.
so I mean, I watched the trailer too after being informed of its existence,
Forgot
and
about that. My bad. I forgot about that.
it's all good. And like Kern, I never really liked Final Fantasy too much, but I did play 14 because of Daniel, kind of his insistence, and like it's a different, it's an MMO versus like a single player experience, but I do enjoy the Devil May Cry games, and as Daniel said, it looked like a Devil May Cry Final Fantasy hybrid kind of game. So I might give this one a shot. It might be the first single player Final Fantasy game that I ever play, which is saying a lot. So who
I'm
knows?
actually not a big Final Fantasy fan myself. I don't like the turn-based stuff.
Well,
With
but
the
you played the 15 with the Windows edition, right? A
I
little bit.
have it. I really never played it. I played it for like an hour, and I just never got back to it. I heard it's cool.
Yeah, I mean, because Final Fantasy is one of those series that has like a pretty, I wouldn't say it's huge, but they've got a what's the word, like kind of like rabid fan base. The people that really like Final Fantasy, like
I would
really
call it a
like
console
Final Fantasy.
soldier, to be honest.
Console seller.
Yeah, ever since
I mean,
seven.
that's what Sony thinks, dude. Sony
Yeah,
thinks it's gonna sell consoles. So
Yeah.
yeah, I think it is. I'm excited that the game is going to come on PC. I'm excited that Sony is trying to do less exclusives in terms of like they don't mind if the game's on PC. They just don't want it on Xbox. So
oof.
Yeah, big oof.
I'm really hoping that it's going to be a good game, and I'm excited for it. Um, I guess the next one I get that I want to jump to is the price. That's the next big thing from there. They announced the digital version is $400 and the disc version is $500, and they November 12th. So that's 2 days after the Xbox, isn't it?
Yeah.
So they're basically
hmm
coming out at the same time. What do you guys think of this price point? Like as opposed to the Xbox S being 300 and the X being 500?
I'll let
I
Kern
think.
go first.
Okay. Yeah. Well, I was gonna go first, and no.
No
Um, I think
permission needed.
it's probably the best thing they could have done. They could have probably done it for 450 instead of 400, but that's what they did the PS4 for. They did the PS4 for 399 back in what 2013,
Yeah.
and that was a great success. They sold like over like I don't even know how many they sold, but it's like the most popular console there is ever, I think.
Yeah.
Um, Go ahead.
Because with that though, the technology is very different. Like when the PS4 came out, it was already outdated tech. the PS5 is actually new tech. That stuff like the architecture of the graphics isn't even out yet. That comes out in October for GP or for computers.
Hmm.
So the cost to make the console and especially also the SSD, that's apparently super expensive because it has the controller on it, which is Sony's like main thing on this console, in my opinion. The cost to make this console versus the cost to make a previous gen console is a lot higher. So they're taking a huge hit, which I'm gonna sway into in another topic that we're gonna bring up later on. What do you think, Matt?
I mean, I kind of agree with Kern that it's probably one of the best things they could have done to try and combat Microsoft's. But it's hard to say if it's gonna end up being the right move. I mean, I feel that it is, but you know, you never know. Because Sony, I don't think has because like when Microsoft came out with the original Xbox, and like you and I have discussed this, I'm pretty sure to death, but I'm gonna bring it up again. You know, they expect to take a hit on the console, like basically the manufacturing of it, because it costs, you know, X amount to manufacture, and then they price it so that, you know, they're essentially taking a loss in the fact that they're trying to get an install base. I'm not quite sure if that's the same for Sony, because, you know, the Japanese tend to be more like organized and like, I guess more thoughtful in terms of like long term. Like, so I'm not sure if they're trying to cut it at a loss as much as Microsoft is. And so, I mean, I don't know.
Okay. I think I personally, the price point for me is awesome. I don't know if you've paid attention to us, Kern, but I was all aboard the Xbox Series S train for a while. I was going to use it as a mobile console because I have my PC for my brute force games, and whenever I go out of town, I can just take that little thing and suffer low quality graphics for a few days. But for $100 more, I can get a full blown current gen console or next gen console. I think that's a great deal, and it really swayed my opinion into if I was going to get an Xbox versus a PlayStation. If I end up getting one at all, I still don't know yet, but.
So
I get. Oh, go on. No, I was pretty much done.
well, I wanted to ask you, it may be $100 more, but we still don't know how big this thing is. Like, from like the mock-ups and the renders of the PS5, I don't know if there was a picture that went viral where it kind of like compared the size of the disc reader or the disc tray,
Yeah.
like to like different consoles and stuff. And apparently, this thing is gonna be taller than the Series S. I mean, the Series X. I'm sorry, the Xbox Series X. It's gonna be taller than that. And that thing is already as big as a shoebox because Microsoft released the specs of the Xbox Series X, like the actual dimensions of it.
Yeah.
And that thing is basically like a shoebox, like a size 13 shoebox. So like the Series S is small. So that like if you're traveling, that's going to be a great portability factor in it.
Correct.
But a PS5 could be taller than that, you know? Like
I get what you're saying. I know it is a bit bigger. Like I have seen some of the picture where it shows them side by side. I guess when I'm thinking traveling, I'm thinking more like a road trip down to San Antonio, like maybe a few hours, not so much airplane. Something where I wouldn't want to haul my big ass tower around.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha. No, yeah. Well, then, yeah, of course. Yeah. But I'm thinking because as I don't know if y'all can tell, I'm not in my actual space where I usually do my streams and stuff. I'm traveling for work and I have to think about flying. So
Yeah.
I brought my PS4 with me and my Switch, which I honestly could have just left my PS4 at home. Like, once Apex comes out for the Switch, I really have no reason to bring my PS4 anywhere because I'll just play Apex on the Switch. I'll play at 30 frames, less than 720p. I'm fine with it.
But you're gonna dominate all the Switch players.
Exactly. I'll be first. I'm gonna be first Switch predator. You watch, dude. You watch.
That's fucking funny.
But yeah, see, that's the kind of thing I have to think about. And a Series S though, for $299, that thing is small and it can do 1440p at variable refresh rates. So that's awesome. That's a great deal.
I think the Series S is a great deal. I think especially couple it with the payment plan of $25 a month for 24 months.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I think that's going to sell. I think out of the gate, Sony's going to sell a lot more consoles because Sony has a big fan base and they're going to eat up all that stuff. But I think
agree.
in the long term, when you have the people who are undecided or the people just don't want to throw down a few $100s at once, they can $25 a month. You get a next gen console. You don't have to buy a game ever because you have a library of 100 games. I think that's the winner right there, personally.
Yeah, I think
Well,
so
and
too.
like especially in times like this with the pandemic, where a lot of people lost their jobs and times are tough for like the majority of Americans and stuff. And I mean, well, hell, anybody around the world really. But you know, when it's financially tight, like when your wallet can only go so far, you're more likely to go for the cheaper option. And like you said, if you don't have to buy games, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, I would agree.
Mm-hmm.
But since we're on, go on.
I was going to say, I think the subscription model that Microsoft put out, the $25 a month, that's really going to make people want to buy it because you can afford $25 a month. Some people can't afford $400 plus games on top of that. Like,
Yeah.
I think it's great what Microsoft's doing.
$70 games on top of that.
Is that what you were going to segue into? Oh, okay, good. Because I wanted to talk about that also.
So I actually do think Sony has the more costly console because the specs are pretty comparable. But then you have the SSD that has the controller, and the controller is proprietary, and I think it's actually adds like a lot of cost onto the hard drive. So for them to come out at the same price as the Xbox, I think they're taking a bigger hit than the Xbox, even though they're the weaker console because of that hard drive. I honestly think because I've read reports that Sony wasn't planning on coming out at $500 and that Microsoft actually surprised them at coming out that low. So I think the $70 thing is to recoup the loss from the hardware sale personally.
Yeah, because I remember when I think 2K21 was announced and they were like, the PS5 version is going to be $70 when it comes out. Or you can get the $80 version and you can play on your PS4 now, and then you'll get the PS5 version later, digitally or something like that. So I was kind of worried. I was like, man, are games going to actually be $70? And then with the price point and the announcement today, and then they were like, yeah, Demon Souls is going to be $70. I was like, God dang, they did it, man. Now, and what sucks is that it's going to raise it for every other platform too. Because they're like the majority shareholders, not shareholders. That's not a good term to use. They're like the majority of gamers.
Yeah.
Like, so if the top dogs are like, we're bumping it up to 70, well, all the other bottom people are like, oh, we got to bump ours up to 72, which they're not going to say no. It's like the mob mentality, unspoken word, but they know what they got to do, right?
It kind of reminds me of what NVIDIA did with the last graphics card. I don't know if you follow that. Like the 2080 Ti. The MSRP for the 2080 Ti was actually $1,000. And I don't know if you know, they all sold for $1,200. But
no, I did.
What NVIDIA did was like, our MSRP is $1,000, but we're going to sell our version of it for $1,200. So all like the partner cards were like, why the fuck would we sell them for $1,000 when you're not? And so then the price was $200.
Yeah, see, exactly. So it's gonna be one of those where the Xbox games are gonna be $70. But
well, like I feel like we've kind of gotten spoiled in that way about how we're used to games being like $60 or whatever, because I specifically remember buying WWF No Mercy for the Nintendo 64, walking into GameStop the day it came out and plunking down $74 fucking dollars for that game. And don't get me wrong, it's one of my favorite games of all time. It was well worth every cent, but there was a point in time when games actually did cost a lot more, but it's just kind of somehow the market shifted and $60 just kind of became like the magical price point, And so like I feel like that's part of us being spoiled that we have $60 games and now suddenly it's being bumped up to $10 and we're like fucking pitchforks, like no, we can't do this.
Well, the thing is that they've found other ways to monetize their games. Like 2K21, for example, it's going to be $70, but you're also going to have virtual currency packs that are hundreds of dollars that you need to level up your player in order to compete with other players online. So like it's kind of, because when games were $75, I bet there wasn't any virtual currency or any downloadable for what was it, WWF for the N64?
Yeah,
No Mercy.
WWF No Mercy. Yeah, there was
Yeah,
the way it worked in those days, back before microtransactions and shit, was you unlocked game things in the game by playing the fucking game. Like,
Yeah.
Whoa, they do that?
Mind-boggling.
What
I
do you
know
mean?
it's hard to fucking believe, but yeah, there was a point in time when you couldn't just fucking pay to have everything, so you actually had to play the game, earn the in-game currency or whatever, and then use that to unlock the stuff you wanted to unlock.
Yeah,
Which
I'm with
in this game, characters and shit.
I'm with Colonel on this one. I think there's no justification for games going up in price when everything's hidden behind a paywall, even when you buy the game.
Yep.
I mean,
And,
I'm not against it. I'm just saying, like, we're just kind of spoiled in that sense. But yeah, I agree with you guys as well. Like, there shouldn't be no fucking reason for that, because kind of like, what game comes out these days that doesn't have microtransactions?
Yeah, I would
in
agree
some
with you if
form
we
or
got the
another.
whole game. I would
Yeah.
pay $70 for a whole game, yeah, but we don't get the whole game anymore.
Yeah, like Final Fantasy 16. You know, you're really hyped about it. Would you pay $70 if there was no microtransactions, and like if there was DLC story, would you buy it?
See, the DLC I don't mind, because if it's like actual DLC where like the single player is actually a complete game and it's a side story or an expansion, I don't mind them adding more to a game that I like. Like how when the first Gears of War, or was it the second one, where you had where you play as Rom, General Rom, that was 2, right?
I think so, yeah, because the end of 1, you killed him.
Yeah. So yeah, you went in the past, you played as Rom. So I thought that was cool, and that took place previously. The original game, like if you didn't buy it, you still had a complete experience. Nowadays, DLC kind of like finishes the experience, which I'm not for.
Okay, yeah, I understand that.
Can you
And of
imagine
course-
if Halo came out during this whole time, like the original Halo, like it was delayed or whatever, and then it came out, and then the fight became like the slogan for the DLC?
Well, we joke about that with Division, and it
Yeah.
actually happened. Like,
God damn it.
So are you familiar with the Division or no?
No, I am not.
So we play at the Division. We actually haven't finished it yet, the portion of the story that we care about. So in the first game, you track down this guy, and then he gets away, and he's like the main villain. In the second game, he's not even fucking mentioned until the fucking DLC.
Man, they got you guys. They got you good.
It's like, you remember this fucking asshole? Hey, you finally want to kill him? Give us fucking money and you can do it.
For just an extra low cost of $30, you can kill this motherfucker.
I think it's actually $40 fucking dollars.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah.
My gosh.
Yeah.
I am a victim of spending a lot of money on microtransactions, but I think it's justifiable when it's a free game.
He's
Apex
talking
is
about
free.
Apex.
Yeah.
Anybody can play Apex, right?
Well, we can say the same
But
about Final Fantasy. I mean, not Fantasy Star. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Phantasy Star. Yeah, see, exactly. Anybody can download that game and play for free. But I convinced myself that I wanted to support the developers of that game, so I buy the season pass every time it comes out. And then if there's a skin I like, I buy the skins. Because I enjoy that game. I have over 800 hours in that game, so it's worth my money.
Yeah. My equivalent would be Warframe, because that's a free to play game, and I've spent over probably $150 in that game, and I have over 600 hours myself. So
Yeah, I don't want to say the number I've spent on Apex. It's embarrassing.
all right,
Yeah,
well,
I
talk
agree with
about
that.
stream.
Supporting free-to-play games, because that's the only way they're going to stick around.
That's true. Yep, that's honestly true.
Fork knife,
Fork and knife too, dude. Come on.
right?
All right.
So, what's the next topic? What do we got going next?
DMC5. So Matt, you played the original DMC5. They announced a special edition where I think there's some sort of graphic update. They are adding ray tracing to the next gen consoles. I don't know if they're throwing them into PC, which is disappointing if they don't. And then Virgil is going to be playable. would you consider rebuying that, Matt, or no, for that kind of stuff?
So when Devil May Cry 5 came out, like I actually had played the game at I believe PAX South beforehand. I waited like over an hour just to try the demo because you got like this really cool little pen, which I still have somewhere, but anyway. Uh and so when the game came out, I basically streamed it for the entire day. Like I started at like 9 a.m. and I streamed the whole fucking day until I finished the game. Like I think it was like an 8 to 10 hour stream, but I finished it in one sitting. I have yet to return to it. And that's not saying that it's a bad game. Like there were some frustrating moments, but overall I really enjoyed the game. I was a big fan of like Devil May Cry 4, and then that's why it took so fucking long for 5 to come out. And I was just like, I wanted more. And so when it came out, I played through it. Like I had to have it. I had to have instant gratification. Played through the entire game, and I'm like, cool, I've done it. This is awesome. But I have yet to go back to it, and would I buy it again? Probably fucking not. Like those additions aren't enough to entice me to go back to the game. Is it a game? Yes. Is it worth buying again just for what you said they are adding? No.
Yeah, I actually was a fan of 1 and 4 myself. I thought 1 was an amazing game. 4 was pretty fun. I wasn't really a big fan of Nero, but it was a good game.
Right.
This is enough to like pique my interest again, because I was interested when 5 came out, and then it just kind of like went away. So now that it came back, I'm like, maybe. And I've never played as Virgil, so I kind of want to. There might not be ray tracing though. Like, why am I getting RTX cards then? Okay.
Well, but you never played 5, right? Though, right?
No, I've never played it. Oh no.
Oh, hey Zoom. All right, awesome. Thanks, Zoom.
I got the same notification.
Yeah. No, I've never played 5, so minus the ray tracing joke, it is enough to pique my interest if it's cheap enough. I'm not going to throw down $60 on this. I've heard it's like an 8-hour game, if even that. $40, $30 maybe. I would think about it there, and I think PC would have some pretty good deals on this, especially with Green Man. I think it's all right. Like, it's Capcom doing Capcom-y things.
True.
Speaking of Capcom, I'm kind of excited for Resident Evil 8 or Resident Evil Village. Or whatever they want. The Village. Yeah. I'm pretty excited for that. It makes me want to play Resident Evil 7. So.
I honestly thought that was at the beginning. It was a RE4 remake at first.
Oh, dude, I would have. Yeah. Oh my god, I would have been so excited. But no, that's probably going to be in a year or two after they do DLC for Resident Evil Village. And then they'll make it.
Dude, we're still waiting on Resident Evil 7 VR for the PC. Like,
I don't think it's coming.
It's just not coming.
But I don't think it's coming either.
And that's another reason to get a PS5 for me. So I can do the VR on that, and then Hitman.
Yeah, the Hitman VR. That looks pretty cool.
It does, yeah.
It really does.
I did see it. I did see a clip of someone doing the tap the opposite shoulder. I don't know if you guys saw the clip on Twitter, maybe, but
I did.
You can kill somebody by going up behind them and tapping the wrong shoulder and making them look the wrong way. And then you just go up and you just... I thought that was pretty cool.
He waited for him to turn around and then he punched him and shit. It's fucking great.
I was like, wow, that's amazing.
Yeah.
We're huge fans of VR, and I'm very disappointed that Resident Evil didn't come out on PC for VR. And Hitman, I don't know what the plan is there, but if I put bets, it's not going to. I hope it is, but
I'm crossing everything. Like, you can't see it, but I'm crossing my nuts too.
That's talent right there, man. That is pure talent.
So I'm wondering if this one would have some sort of VR in it also. If Sony would be willing to
Resident Evil 8 or the Village or whatever.
Village.
Yeah.
I would think so. I mean, that depends on Capcom if they want to use the resources to make it, because they can probably figure out how many people actually used VR on PlayStation for Resident Evil 7. I'm pretty sure they can have those statistics somewhere, So they'll probably use that and leverage that to see, plus online comments, because I've seen a lot of people wanting to do it on PC with the Resident Evil 7 VR. So if Capcom reads them, they're like, well, then I guess we should just do it on PC as well, because, a lot of the PC VR fan base wants it. And
Well, but they know we want it for 7, and they didn't fucking do it thus far. They're just like, whatever.
Well, that means that's just a marketing technique for you to go out and buy a whole new game, anyways. So, like, you're gonna pay $70 for this Resident Evil Village, aren't you? Yeah, you are. You want your VR mode? It's right here. Come on, come on. You want it?
Okay,
Come on.
so
Well-
at $70, if it means VR, that's an easier pill to swallow for me because, as Daniel
Okay.
said, we are VR fans, and so if it comes out on PC at $70 and includes VR, I can swallow the $70 for that.
The
See,
thing is,
see.
Sony funds the VR on these games, and they fund
That's
it
true.
with the, with time exclusivity. So I guess Capcom just didn't see it worth patching into, going through the trouble and Steam VR, the different headsets. Sony paid for all that, so
Yeah.
I don't know if these companies are willing to put the effort to put them on PC, even though they have it developed. That's kind of the issue I'm in right now. It's like, I guess you wait and see. I don't need to buy a PlayStation now just to see what's going to happen later. But
Right.
Right.
I can definitely see those being VR exclusive to PlayStation because of Sony's funding.
Yeah.
All right, so we can talk about what you want to talk about now, Matt.
So I saw something today that basically said that Microsoft, even though they delayed Halo Infinite, they're basically not worried about it not being a launch title, and that they're like, it's not important that it's not a launch title. It's fine. We'll be fine. And I think it's a big deal, actually. I know the reasoning why they delayed it, but as we were discussing earlier, Sony thinks that, Final Fantasy is like a console seller, and Bloodborne and all these games they showed off during this direct or whatever the hell they're calling it conference. And what does Microsoft have? Like, honestly, I can't think of any games coming out at launch for the Xbox Series X or S or whatever. And so to me, it was Halo. And the fact that it's now delayed, it's like, I think it is kind of a big deal. I mean, there to me it seems very PR-y for them to say it like yeah, no, we're not worried about it. It's fine. But I feel like it is. I mean, I'd be curious to know what you think. I'm pretty sure Daniel is in the opposite opinion of me, but
I agree and disagree. But if Kern has a stronger opinion, then
So I think if what Microsoft has, because I just found out about this, like, before we started recording, I didn't know about this, but I don't think they're worried because they're not trying to sell games. They're trying to sell Game Pass. They're trying to get you in that $15 a month, because if you pay $15 a month, you get all these games plus Halo, plus, what's that one Skyrim game that they're trying to promote?
Outer Worlds?
Shroud or something. That looks sick.
Yeah.
That looks really sick. It's like Skyrim-esque, but it's I think that looks amazing. But
Which
that's going to
one?
be on Game Pass. It's called Avowed. It was like a short teaser, but it was like,
It's by the Outer Worlds people.
yeah.
Okay.
And
All right.
so that's going to be a Microsoft exclusive one, I think. Where it's just basically, Skyrim-esque, like you have magic in one hand and a sword in another, or it's like a big open world fantasy RPG. So I think, especially when they're selling a console for $299 this holiday, they want you to buy that Game Pass, because it's all digital. So you're not even going to need a disc, and you can still have that option to buy the games outright. But why spend $70 on Halo when you can just pay $15 and you get it, plus all these other games,
True.
I think that's what they're going for. I think they're trying to sell Game Pass more than Halo, because you have more of a benefit with Game Pass.
Yeah, I agree with that. I do think it is a hit to their launch, though, because if you have people who are not going on the subscription, because there's some people who don't like the subscription model, who just want to outright buy their console. So you have someone looking at, okay, on November 12th, when both consoles are 12th, when both consoles are out, what games do I have on this console and what games do I have this console. I'm going to make a decision that day. And to be fair, though, those games that we've been talking about, none of them are coming out day one for PlayStation. So I don't think either console really has a good day one launch. But if Halo was on the Xbox, it would make an easier decision for those people to be like Halo, and then later on down the line, I buy PlayStation when the games are actually out. I do believe there is a portion of the market that you're talking about where $15 a month and you get everything, and they're going to buy into it because how affordable it is and how much of a value it is. It's Netflix for video games.
Yeah.
And people, how many Netflix subscribers are there?
Oh God, I don't even know, but I know it's a lot.
Yeah, exactly. So I do think their marketing or who they're going after is different, in terms of they're pushing Game Pass more than that, and that's probably their mindset. But I do think they are punishing, not punishing, but they're not putting out a good offer day one for people who don't want to go the subscription model.
I think you're right. I think, but I also think they're looking at it in the long-term perspective. They might not care about day one launch for Xbox.
That's pretty evident they don't.
Because you can get Game Pass right now, and then you can wait a year to get the new Xbox. When it's maybe a little bit cheaper, maybe like $50 cheaper. And your Game Pass subscription just transfers over, and all your saves are there. You get all the new games, you get them all upgraded to the next gen graphic capabilities, higher frame rates, all that stuff.
EA Play.
EA Play. That's right.
And
which EA Play has the Apex Battle Pass in it.
Oh.
So I'm like,
okay. So for those that don't know, explain what EA Play is.
EA Play. So EA Play was formerly EA Access, and that was a subscription-based model to where you got all of the EA published titles day one. You usually got the upgraded version, and as long as you keep paying for the subscription, you kept the game. And it merged with Game Pass. So now when you get Game Pass, you also get access to all the EA titles. So you get the new Madden every year. You get the new Battlefield or Battlefront or Apex Legends Battle Pass every season. So because freaking $10 a month for EA Access or EA Play, that's what they were charging, is $10 a month. So if you bump it up to 15, you get Xbox Game Pass plus EA Play. English is hard, man. English is hard.
I think the PC version of Game Pass also gets EA Play for PC.
Damn, I'm gonna have to check if I got that Apex Battle Pass then.
I didn't know that. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, and that's $10, I think. But I think they're gonna bump up the price to just have Ultimate. I think it's a great deal, and then you get any smartphone becomes an Xbox. Well, okay, not any Android ones. Apple doesn't like playing with playing fair.
Apple doesn't like anybody. Yeah. Holy shit,
Apple likes Apple, and that's it.
So, and that was another reason that I back to how I was discussing PlayStation versus Xbox in terms of what I would like to get. That's another reason why I kind of am considering against getting a PlayStation because of xCloud and just having my cell phone and playing off that.
Yeah, if you just pay for the subscription, you can pay for the subscription and just get a PS5. And,
exactly.
And you're golden. You basically get your Halo. You get, and you have a PC. So if you get that Ultimate, you get it on your phone, you get it on your PC. And if you want to get that 1S when it drops down to $200, 1S. When you get the Series S, when it drops down to $200 in a few years, you can.
I think their model is great. I think it's gonna, once people really realize what they're doing, a lot of people are going to go that way.
Yeah. I think it's just going to be an add-on to not necessarily completely go to Xbox. I think it's just going to be an add-on. I think it's going to be like, oh, I already have Netflix, but Hulu has A Handmaid's Tale, and I kind of want to try it out. I kind of want to get the subscription and watch it or play it, Xbox Game Pass has Halo and it looks really good. It's open world and the multiplayer looks really nice. So yeah, I'll do the subscription because I can just get it on my Xbox, my current Xbox or my phone.
Yeah,
So
definitely.
I think they're tapping into a whole different market of curiosity.
I think it's
So
genius. Yeah.
yeah, so let me tie it back to a second because we trailed off from what I wanted to say during when we brought up the launches. Because so Kern, you mentioned that Microsoft doesn't care about, what if they don't care about launch or whatever? But like, why the fuck don't they? Like, you know what I mean? Like, it seems like console launches have always been a huge fucking deal, except for this one. It feels that way. Like, you know what I mean? Like, in the past, they have always had, like exclusive and, this game is launching with the system and they have like their little, in-house parties with like the mascots and it's all this like good press. But it's like these consoles are going to launch in like 2 months and it's like, it almost feels like they're just kind of like, whatever, just throw it out there and see what happens. They are focusing on the stuff that you guys are mentioning, like the subscriptions and that sort of thing. But in terms of the actual console launches, it almost feels like it's just something they're doing just to do. They don't, like you said, they don't actually give a fuck about it. They're just like, throw it out there. We'll see.
Yeah, it kind of sucks because that's kind of like that's a good time. Like I used to work at GameStop and I worked for both the PS4 and the Xbox One launches. And I gotta say, people were hella hyped for both those consoles. And I think it's just because of the marketing, but that was also 7 years ago. Things have changed. We are literally doing a podcast from a Zoom call. Like there's a pandemic going on right now. Like you wouldn't want to gather hundreds of people in a line to go get a video game console. They had to do it differently this time just because of like real world things going on.
I don't even necessarily mean like the gatherings. I just mean that just like the kind of like the hype around it, the consoles themselves. It just feels like almost like an afterthought.
Yeah, but it's probably because they want to make more money doing digital sales. Honestly, they cut out the middleman of the retail store. So like, don't hype it up as much. They'll buy it digitally. They'll order it off Amazon. Something like that.
I disagree about the hype though. They're doing, both of them are doing like monthly showcases. Their Twitter profiles are pretty active on teasing. I think it's just a different type of hype than what we're used to.
That could be it.
Like, and everything's all digital now since we can't go everywhere. We're not going to game stores actively. No more EGMs and like magazines like that. I don't really pay attention to IGN or anything like that like I used to. I think it's just we're not in the appropriate channels. But like I've seen PlayStation pushing out things. I've seen Xbox pushing out things, touting the new hardware and the games that are eventually going to come out. But
yeah,
it's probably just the pandemic. It just doesn't feel the same. But yeah, you're right. So you have to get used to it.
Yeah, and like I said, times have changed. The E3 2013, I watched that on TV. They had it on Spike TV, and that's where I watched it because Twitch wasn't a thing. Live streaming to YouTube wasn't a thing. So like you couldn't watch that stuff anywhere but on TV. I think I was able to live stream it. I don't even know if it was on Twitch or not.
I remember live streaming one from IGN a long time. Like,
I think I did watch it on IGN's website. I think that's where I watched it, maybe. But I watched the PlayStation event on IGN's website, but I watched the Xbox event on TV. So
booty call.
Sorry, it's actually my work phone, so I gotta check it. Okay, but what do we got next on the docket?
Nothing really I care about.
Well, so I wanted to bring this up again since I know that Kern is a huge Nintendo fan, and Daniel to a lesser degree. But so you guys may or may not have seen like the whole like Mario Brothers 35th anniversary thing, and they announced a Mario Battle Royale. Like, Daniel, did you hear about that?
I did. The 35 different Marios going at each other. I think that's a pretty cool idea.
But yeah, I
I-
wanted to go ahead.
Oh, go ahead.
You got it.
Okay, I thought it was a pretty cool idea. I like that whatever enemy you kill jumps into another one, other worlds, and it's a fun little mini game. I know it's not around forever. I think it's around till March, so it just gives a different take to it. I like it.
Yes. Go ahead.
I'm pretty hype, honestly. I thought that was pretty cool when I saw it. I was like, oh, so they're doing a Tetris 99, but Mario Bros.
Yeah,
And I thought it was a pretty neat concept, you know, like Tetris 99 is actually a very popular Switch title because you get it with the Nintendo Switch Online or whatever. So if you got the subscription, you get the game for free. And so I thought it was pretty neat, and I'm definitely going to be playing it. And I'm going to definitely try and get the top spot at least once, because I have one, I played Tetris 99 until I won one of them. And then once I won, I was like, all right, I don't need to play this anymore.
well, it's
So
only
I'm gonna
35, so
it's only
better
35.
odds.
It's not 99. So I think it'd be a little bit easier.
And I mean, you know, the majority of us have been playing Mario Brothers like our whole fucking lives. So it's like versus some scrub kid that just picked it up. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, I like to think my platforming's pretty good.
Me too, man.
Yeah.
Hey, I liked platforming wise. I thought Hollow Knight was pretty difficult, but I had a blast on Hollow Knight, dude.
I haven't played that.
Yeah, I never played it either.
If you like platformers, I highly suggest Hollow Knight.
It's on Game Pass, isn't it?
I think so.
Yeah, I should check it out then.
But yeah, it's Metroidvania to the max, dude. It's amazing. Highly recommend it.
But that's still pretty badass. You were able to get the top spot in Tetris 99. I was playing that actually when it came out, and like I think the highest I ever got was like 35th, something like that.
35th.
Yeah.
I fucking suck at Tetris. I wouldn't even try.
I like Tetris. I had Tetris. That was growing up. That was one of the games I had on my Game Boy. So I played the heck out of it. So then when they had this one, I was like, all right, let's go. And I just got back in the groove and I just kept going. I finally got one and I was like, all right, I don't have to play this anymore.
It just to me, it just sucked because like I could be doing really well and then suddenly like 5 people target me at once and then you're just fucked, you know, because it's like you're doing really well and then everyone decides to target you. It's like, well, fuck you.
Well, because there's a on the settings on that, you can change who you want to target and you can target the person who's doing the best. So and people just keep it on there. So like they'll target, you'll get 5 people on you at once. So it's kind of a weird way to strategize. Like you don't want to do your best right out the gate. And then once you get close to the end, then you start like, you know, setting yourself up for getting those Tetrises and those like 2-stack and 3-stack lines and stuff. So
yeah, that was probably my mistake. I was like, I'm going to try as hard as I can right at the beginning. Just, yeah, I'm going to get this shit. And then fucking get super targeted. Like, oh, fuck all y'all.
Yeah.
That's cool. Yeah. So when is that game already out? The Mario Battle Royale?
That's out October 1st, beginning of October. I don't know if it's the 1st, but I think it's the beginning of October.
We'll have to try and jump on that together and at least give it a shot. I mean, Daniel, do you still have Switch Online too?
It's like $3 a month. I can say that. You know, like
I honestly, I just renewed my subscription like 2 days ago because I tried to play the Super Nintendo online or whatever because they just put Donkey Kong Country on there.
Donkey Kong 2, right?
Yeah, Donkey Kong Country 2, yeah.
That
so
one's a
I was
hard
like,
one.
Yeah, I was like, man, I gotta play it now. So, and then when I tried to log in, it was like, your subscrip's up. Did you want to renew? And I was like, yes.
That's my favorite Donkey
Hands
Kong
over
Country.
credit card.
Yeah, I got my shit linked already. I just had to put in my password and it was like, all right. I swiped it.
Yeah, have you ever played Tropical Freeze? Like Daniel and I played that. It's pretty hard.
Yeah, Tropical Freeze gets hard, man. It gets hard towards the later levels.
And
The
I don't
freaking
even think we're
cart.
that far.
We're on the third.
The minecart
level.
levels, dude, those piss me off so much, man. I hate the minecart levels.
That was where we left off, I believe, wasn't it?
No, we beat the boss of the second world. Like every
but I
time I
mean-
go hang out, we beat a world.
Yeah, when he comes over in person, we hook up the Switch and play that for a little
Nice.
bit. Yeah. But yeah, man, I don't know. Maybe we could do like a stream where we're all trying to beat each other at Mario Brothers. If you
Mario
guys want to see
35.
that, let us know in the
Yeah.
comments.
I would be cool with that. I do want to play that game, so I would be down with that.
Yeah.
I'd be so down for that. I'm gonna be playing it anyway, so
Yeah,
I'd rather have
right.
friends to play with. So
Exactly. We can be talking shit the whole time. Like, motherfucker, you sent a Koopa into my fucking world, bitch.
yeah,
All these
because I
extra
think
Goombas.
the way it works is that the enemies you kill go to a different screen, right?
Yeah, I just don't know if it's targeted.
It looked like it had the same kind of system as Tetris 99, which is what you were just saying about targeting. So, like, I think if I
Yeah.
wanted to send them to Kern, I could, and you know, if you wanted to send them to me, you could, and so.
So Kern, let's just send him to Matt.
Sure, why not? You know?
That's fucked up. Got some haters. That's all right. It'll be. I think it'll be fun. I think it'll be a lot of fun. So maybe we'll
Yeah.
do that.
And also, I'm super stoked for the Super Mario 3D All Stars that comes out at the time of this podcast, Friday, which is in 2 days, and I'm very stoked for that. I'm gonna really relive my childhood fantasies all over again. It's gonna be wonderful.
Well, Mario 64 has already came out again, right, on the DS. So this will be the second release or third release of it. But the other
Yeah.
two,
Yeah.
or the other three, because it's Galaxy 1 and 2, if I remember correctly.
No, it's not. It's just Galaxy 1.
What?
Yeah, no, Galaxy 2, and okay, they I wish they would have put Galaxy 2 on there. It would have been a lot better value instead of like, you know, basically $20 a game if you do the math.
Yeah.
But it would have been a lot better value if they put Galaxy 2, because I think Galaxy 2 is like better than the first one. I think it has more creative worlds than the first one by far. But I think what their Nintendo is thinking about it in the long run, I think end of next year they're going to have, you know, the N64 online subscription where you just play N64 games on your Switch, you know. So they didn't want it. That's why they're doing the limited time releases or release of the Mario Brothers, because eventually they want to do a subscription model where you get all their old school games, because that's what Nintendo's known for. They have nostalgia under their belt, and they know they can use that as a weapon.
God damn it! Like you said that, and I'm like, fuck. If they put Blast Core on there, fuck. Damn it! I love that game so much. They better not do that. Well, they probably are, but damn it.
They're probably going to upgrade the Switch. Next year, 2021, you're looking at new Nintendo Switch Pro XL.
It's gonna come
because
out
their
and be,
naming
like,
schemes
really
are
huge.
their naming schemes are awful, but
Yeah, they are.
I mean, they
How
couldn't
many
get worse than
DSs do we have?
Nintendo. I mean, than Microsoft. Fucking A, man.
dude, no. But like what Daniel said, how many DSs did they have? They had fucking 1, 2, 3, like at least 5 iterations of the 3DS.
XL, 3D.
Yeah, but they had the DS, the Lite, the XL, the XL with the camera, the DSi, I think it was called.
Mm-hmm.
Like it was dumb.
Yeah, definitely. God damn it.
Anything else left on the
Yeah.
agenda to talk about?
So I wanted to talk about, since we are fans of VR, Oculus is working with Respawn to make a fully VR Medal of Honor game.
Ooh.
So it's been a while since I've heard Medal of Honor or anything, and fully VR with Respawn. I think that's pretty cool. I'm pretty excited about that. It's kind of funny how our last podcast where we were talking about VR, we said that like no one in the PC realm's really doing anything with it. Well, then this is coming out.
Oculus was like, we're listening.
Yeah.
Well, because I think Oculus wants to tap into the, you know, they're the mid-range king. Like you have Valve with their $1,000 headset. Well, come get an Oculus for $499 or $399, and you can play all those ones on there that you can play with the Valve Index. So,
Yeah, I think Oculus is the better deal on that stuff because not like you said, the headset's cheaper, but if you get a Valve, you can't play the Oculus games. And there's been a few Oculus games that we've played that were actually pretty good.
I did not know that.
Yeah, like that's what's shitty about the VR on PC is that it's
Separate marketplaces.
Yeah, while
Oh.
Valve lets pretty much anyone play it with Oculus, it's not the other way around.
Oh,
It's sort of like the
Okay.
console thing, but it's instead of, you know, PlayStation, Xbox, it's like Valve, Oculus, Vive, or whatever.
Yeah, Vive's.
Yeah,
Valve.
yeah, that's what I mean.
That's
but you get
that's
the
what I
idea.
have. I have a Vive, but I literally played Beat Saber for a few hours and one zombie apocalypse game, and that was it. Like
Was it Arizona Sunshine?
Yes, it was Arizona Sunshine,
That's a pretty good game.
which
It
it
is a pretty
is.
good game.
It's a really good game. But I also played this other one that was like, because Arizona Sunshine is like a horde mode. This one I played called Contagion, that's more like realistic. Like, you go home and like the news is on and you're like, virus has spread, blah, blah, blah. And then all of a sudden you hear a banging on your door and it's some freaking zombie trying to kill you. So you have to like find a weapon and stuff. It was pretty neat.
Nice. Can't say I've ever heard of that one, but yeah, I'd be down.
Yeah,
We should do
it's
some.
way more
We
intense.
should do some VR games together too, because Daniel and I played Seeking Dawn. That's a VR game. It's probably like the best one we played so far, which is crazy because it's an indie game. But it's like I think it's 4 players, isn't it?
It's 4 players, yes.
Yeah, and so we've only ever played it in 2 players. So if you ever pick that up, you can pop in with
What
us.
is Seeking Dawn, you said?
Yeah, it's kind of like a looter shooter.
Oh, okay.
It's like non-cell shaded Borderlands with less humor, more serious tones, like kind of sci-fi. There's crafting. You can get better weapons and gear and stuff. Like, yeah, it's pretty fun.
Huh.
And it's all indie. It's crazy. Like we bought it early access, and it's pretty good. Like,
Sounds awesome.
We've
I'll definitely look into that.
we've given indie VR games a chance with Knights of the Drowned Table.
Oh my God.
And like, oh my God, some of these games are just obvious like VR cash grabs, and that ended up being one of them. It was supposed to be like, it was supposed to be like a VR Dungeons and Dragons type of adventure. Like you start out in a tavern, you can like pick up the little like mugs of ale, and you group up, and then you go and you choose a quest, and you go. And you have like bow and arrow and axes and stuff, and like every fucking time we played it there was some sort of glitch or some sort of error. Daniel fell through the floor like so many times, and we couldn't progress because this one door wouldn't open. And then there was like no updates from the developer, that they basically have gone silent on all the social medias, and it's just like bullshit.
Billy Ross.
Yeah, fuck you, really Boss Studios. Bitches.
Oof.
But yeah, we have met that guy in person at PAX South too.
Really? Oh, wow. Maybe if he goes back, you could give him a piece of your mind,
Probably went bankrupt by now.
I'm pretty, I mean, give him like, hey, I want my money back, bitch.
Hey, give my $5.
Go Office Space printer style on him.
Right. But yeah, so I mean, it's rare that there's a good VR game. So Seeking Dawn is definitely a standout.
Yeah.
That's pretty much all I have, unless you guys want to bring anything up.
Just trying to think. There's been a lot, but
nothing really. I mean, the PS5 thing was the biggest thing I could think of. So
yeah,
I'm pretty hyped for that Five Nights at Freddy's game. As much as a childish game that is. That one looks super cool because it's like 3D graphics. Like it looks like you just walk around that entire place trying not to die. Like it looks pretty sick. But of course, they showed like 30 seconds of it.
Yeah,
well,
like
go ahead.
They didn't show any gameplay, so I didn't know if it was like the traditional one where you're just looking through cameras and such, or if like you actually walked around.
I don't know, but all of the graphics, like the models and stuff, were in 3D.
It did look good, yeah.
So it looked beautiful.
So the real question is it in VR?
I think they do have a Freddy's in VR, don't they?
I don't know.
They have one already.
Is there?
Yeah, it's they have one already in VR. It was PlayStation exclusive for like a month, I think, and then they put it on PC.
Okay.
Because it came with the VR. Like when it dropped, PlayStation released a VR bundle with the game.
Yeah.
And then like a month later, it came to Steam or something like that. I might be wrong on that one.
Actually, now that I think about it, I don't know if I want to play that in VR. I'd probably just crap my pants, like turn around and see one of those fucking things. Like, shit.
That's kind of how I feel about RE7.
Oh well, I mean, I know I would crap my pants in that game, but I still want to try that.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
I was thinking about like when I played that Contagion VR, when I played that one, I wanted to crap my pants a couple times too. But the more I got used to it, the more it turned into like an action type game rather than a suspenseful horror type game. So
yeah.
then I
I
got
guess
used to it.
it's I guess it's kind of hard to build suspenseful horror in VR because it's like, most of that stuff's built on the fact that like there's a fixed camera and you can't see around hallways and stuff. But like in VR, I mean, you can kind of look 360 degrees, and so it's, I
Yeah.
mean, obviously jump scares and shit, but I don't know,
Mhm.
a little bit different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I guess the last thing that I have to bring up, I just thought about it. Graphics cards coming out. Uh,
Oh.
the benchmarks came out today. The cards actually come out tomorrow. They kind of lived up to the leaks, but not to NVIDIA's marketing. So if you follow the leaks, you knew they're going to be roughly around 30% better than the 2080 Ti. But like the marketing that NVIDIA was saying, like it did not live anywhere up to it. It was kind of disappointing considering you did have that marketing campaign. But I think they're going to be pretty solid cards. Excited for more ray tracing. But the ray tracing performance isn't as good as they said it was going to be. Like it's not like 2 times better what they were saying. It was like maybe 30%, which doesn't make ray tracing viable in some games. Like Control without DLSS, you were still getting like only 20 frames in 4K.
Ooh.
20 frames? That seems like it's not even fucking playable. Like,
Yeah, you need DLSS for it to play, which is that the AI upscaling, which is actually really good, but not very many games use it. So it looks promising if NVIDIA can use that in more titles, because that is kind of a feature. I am excited, which they haven't benchmarked yet, is the RTX broadcast with you guys being streamers as well. That's a really cool tool. Do you know about that, Kern?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah,
I saw that.
that looks hella cool. I like the voice canceling or the noise canceling done
Yeah.
through AI, and also just the how they have the new encoder on there, where they're looks like they're going away from NVIC and using I don't remember the exact coding, but it's supposed to be a lot more efficient. And with 8 megabytes a second, you can
Ooh.
do 120, 144p.
nice.
Dang.
So the compression on it is a lot more efficient than what we're using nowadays, because apparently the H246 or 64,
H264,
yeah, has been around for like 20 years. So it's like an old ass thing, and this is the more modern one that just became a standard like a year ago. So it's this file type is very it's standard and modern. So and the fact that NVIDIA is going to be having their cards do that is really awesome.
yeah.
I am definitely gonna buy one.
Yeah.
Because
So,
I'm
go ahead.
go ahead.
Ladies
I
first.
am why thank you. I am definitely gonna buy one. Just because I'm rocking a 1080 Ti right now. I bought it used off of Craigslist and it works fine. But my streams still stutter, man. I don't know what it is or
What
what I
coding do you
do.
use?
I use the encoder on the graphics card. I use
Oh,
the
the
NVEC
NVEC?
one.
Okay.
Yeah, but since I saw that NVIDIA broadcast thing and they have a whole new encoder, I definitely think it's worth the upgrade for the price that they're giving me, because the 1080 Ti I bought off of Craigslist, I paid like a little bit less than 500. I think I talked them down to like 480 or 475 or something like that. And but for 700, I could have such a big boost in my stream quality that I think it's worth it, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Because that's what I was looking for in this new card. I was like, well, I still game at 1080p. Like I don't game at anything else. My monitors don't go up that high. But the new encoder, when I saw that, I was like, oh, I gotta get it now. It looks so great. It honestly, and I think it'll improve my stream quality drastically. And then of course, later on down the road, if I want to, I'm future proofing myself. So I could get the 1440p monitor, or I could get the 2K ultra wide 49-inch monitor that Daniel wants to get. So I think it's an overall investment for me. I think it'll help me in the long run, and I can keep that card for 4 years. So
Yeah, I agree with you. Minus the 4 years part. I actually bought the 3900X, the AMD 12 core, so I can encode on the 264
Okay.
because it looks a little bit more clean when action happens. But if that encoder is as good as it sounds like it's going to be, it renders my CPU pretty much useless because I won't be encoding on my CPU anymore, which
And
is
your
fine.
CPU's a monster too, man. Jesus.
Which is fine. Like, that's a better option. And like you said, it brings more gaming performance. It's just a good value. And then on top of that, you get your the noise cancellation. And I just want to know how much that stuff is going to hit performance. Because with you gaming on 1080p, the performance hit might not even be an issue. But for me gaming in 2K ultra wide, I'm curious on how much performance I know I'll see a performance hit.
Yeah.
So I'm curious to see how much that is, but I guess we'll find out.
Yeah, we'll find out when you'll buy it tomorrow, but you won't get it for 2 weeks.
Yeah, right. What were you gonna say, Matt?
Well, so is that NVIDIA broadcast, that's only on the new cards? That's not like some software that they're gonna release that for all cards?
The broadcast, that's RTX broadcast, that is on 20 and 30 cards. So if you got a 20, you can still get it. The encoder that we're talking about, though, that actually shows the stream, is only on the 30 series because that is a physical thing on the card.
Okay. No, yeah, I was just curious because I have a 1070 Ti, and so it's like I'm not going to be able to use broadcast, but like that to me, that alone seems worth the upgrade. I mean, the encoder is fucking nice or whatever, but like to me, the broadcast is great because just you and I, like, how many streams have we done where somebody's like, "Hey, can I play with you guys?" and they hop in the Discord and their mic's all fucked up, And so if we had this, RTX broadcast, it could fix that. And
I agree, 100%.
We wouldn't even worry about it. So
actually, I think that's the coolest thing, how you can filter out other people's crap. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's all I have, unless you guys have anything else.
No, I think we're good.
Yeah. I'm glad. I just want to say thank y'all for letting me come on your podcast, man. I've been watching y'all for a little bit, like since you revamped it. Not watching. I actually listen on Spotify. Just because it's a little bit less data consumption than YouTube. So I can listen to it in my car without having to pull up the YouTube video. So that's where I do a lot of my podcast listening, is in the car. So
we appreciate you listening to us.
Yeah, I never met you before. I know Matt has, but it's been cool talking to you. We've had some guests that don't know what the fuck they're talking about, and it's cool that you I can have a conversation with you about games, and you come from an intelligent standpoint, so it's been fun.
Well, I'm glad I'm smart enough to be on your podcast. I appreciate that.
Yeah, maybe we'll do this again sometime.
Yeah. All right. Well, I've been Daniel.
I've been Matthew.
You don't want to?
That's your cue.
And I've been Kern.
Yeah. All right. Nice. Catch you guys later.
Yeah, we'll see you on the next one. Peace. Thanks for joining us, Kern.